Hey guys, this is Jim K from Stairway to Video. I hope you're all doing fine today. Today I wanted to show you something that's been frustrating me for some time. You know how we'd like to do one take with our cameras, load it into our video editing software, and then automatically have great audio and video and be done with it? Well, that usually isn't what happens, at least for me. Here's how it usually works for me. I'll first film my segment. At the same time, I'll record an audio track into a digital audio recorder. Then I'll want my video to look better than it is, so I'll use DaVinci Resolve to make the colors pop and make it cleaner looking. I'll then pull that into my other video editing software and add my separate audio track into the mix. I'll sync up my good audio with the crappy audio and delete my crappy audio. Then add my transitions, titles, and edits, and then render the whole mess together. Then upload it to YouTube. That's a long process. I got to thinking, wouldn't it be nice if I could cut out a couple of steps and get great audio right into the camera from the start and not have to edit my video with a separate audio track? Well, if that sounds interesting to you and you'd like to see how I now save time, follow along and see what I've come up with to make it a faster process with better audio right into your camera from the start. Come on, let's get started. Okay, it's not that I can't do all those steps I talked about, it's that I don't want to do all these steps. Video editing is very time consuming. If I can even save an hour or two, I'll take the shortcut. You see, it takes hours to edit a video, and even though I enjoy editing, it's tedious. So let's get rid of recording the audio from a second audio source. Here's what I do. I use a couple of add-ons to get good audio from the start. Of course, you'll need a microphone. An XLR style mic would be best. They usually have a cleaner sound and can cost more than a USB mic. At the bottom of an XLR mic, there are 3 terminals instead of a USB connection. Next, I use an audio interface. This allows you to use good preamps for great sound and be able to change analog sound into digital sound that will work in your camera. Then I use a DBX 286s microphone preamp processor. This also has great preamps for great sound. This isn't necessary, but it will give you that awesome podcast sound and take away most of the background noise. Make sure none of your equipment is plugged into power or turned on before you start. Okay, let's plug the microphone into the DBX 286s preamp and processor. You'll need an XLR female to XLR male cable. Make sure that all the dials on the DBX are turned counterclockwise or to the off position. Next, plug the output from the back of the DBX 286s into the input of the audio interface by using a 1/4-inch male TRS to 1/4-inch male TRS cable. Again, make sure the dials are turned counterclockwise or off. In my case, I'm using a Motu M2, but any interface should work well. I know a lot of creators that use the Focusrite interfaces, but that's up to you. A Focusrite 2i2 or Motu M2 would be good choices along with other manufacturers like Steinberg and Behringer, to name a few. Do your homework and research and pick one that might fit your budget. Now, from the back of your audio interface, plug in a 1/4-inch male TRS into the output jack. Then the other end is an 1/8-inch male TRS connector, and that goes into the camera's mic-in jack to get audio into your camera. Just so you know, I'll have links in the description below this video for all the items I'm talking about. Again, make sure all the dials are turned counterclockwise. Plug in the DBX 286s to power it up. It will automatically have power as there isn't an on-off switch on it. Now, the settings I'm going to show you seem to work for me. I'm also using a condenser microphone, so it needs phantom power. If your microphone is a dynamic mic, like a Shure SM7B or an SM58 or another type of dynamic microphone, you won't need phantom power. So, starting at the left side of the DBX 286s, I turn my mic preamp dial to around 3 dashes past the +30 setting. That's in black. Again, I'm using a condenser mic. If you're using a dynamic mic, you'll likely need more gain than my microphone. I'm pressing the 48-volt phantom power to on. I also like the high pass filter to on, so press that button until the lights turn on to green. The high pass filter helps to get rid of lower toned rumbles. The next button is the process bypass switch. When that's turned on, all the buttons or dials to the right are turned off. So you'll want that button turned off or so no light is showing. That will keep the rest of the dials working to give you a great sound. The next two dials are very important. They are called the compressor. They keep your microphone from clipping or going too high or going too low in volume. Clipping is when your voice gets too loud and the sound distorts and becomes practically useless. For the microphone I'm using today, I turn the drive knob to 4 on the dial. The next dial is the density. I turn it to number 5. The next two dials are for sibilants. They allow you to tone down your S's. Too much S sounds can be distracting. So for my voice, I turn the frequency dial to 4K and the threshold dial to 3. Next is the enhancer. The enhancer allows you to bump up or down low-frequency tones on the left dial, or do the same with high-frequency tones with the right dial. So it can slightly raise or lower higher voices. For my voice, I keep the left dial at 5 and the right dial at 4. The next set of dials are called the expander gate. This magical set of dials will help take the noise out of your audio, especially when you're not talking. For my voice, I keep the left dial at 1 notch below -15 and the right dial at 2 notches below 2 to 1. Don't be too aggressive with these dials as it could mess up your audio. That right dial can actually cancel out your breath noises when you take a breath between sentences. So like this. Notice how you can hardly hear my breath sounds? The next dial is the output gain. Leave that around 0 to start with, and you might move it up if your audio is too low in the next step. I should have put this in first, but we need to plug in the microphone. So this is the other end of the XLR jack that I plugged into the back of the DBX 286s. Okay, make sure the knobs on your audio interface are counterclockwise and it's plugged into the power, and turn it on if it has a power switch. Otherwise, it will just turn on when you plug it into the USB plug on your computer. Now note this, we are only using the USB plug on the computer as a power source for the audio interface. We will only be getting our audio from the camera. Otherwise, you could get a second audio from your audio software in the computer if you want as a backup. We won't be doing that today, but it would be a safety track if you also save the audio to your computer just in case. Now, with both your DBX and the audio interface turned to on, let's start getting a good gain signal to put into your camera. Okay, let's start with the DBX 286s. Like we said with the first dial, that is basically the amount of gain that your microphone is going to take. I have it set up so the maximum level that I go to is 0 dB, which would be this yellow button right here, that yellow light. And when that goes up, you know you don't want to go any higher than that. So I'm going to start talking loud, and you see how that's my maximum when I'm going to talk loud. Most of the time you want it to be in the -20 to -10 dB. And if I turn this up, it's going to start clipping right away. Look at, now I'm up in the yellow. Now I'm clipping in red. You don't want it to ever clip in the red because that just distorts it. So again, -20 to -10, that's basically where you want to be when you're talking. Once in a great while in this 0 dB where it turns yellow. So that's why I said before, I've got around 3 dashes above +30 in the black, and that gives me a good level. And this is another thing too. I have a condenser microphone, so again, like I said before, you want to have your 48-volt phantom power on when you have a condenser mic. If you have a dynamic mic, you do not need phantom power, so you can shut that off. The high-pass filter, like I said before, that takes care of rumbles. That's going to be on. It's nice to take it because that'd be like a deep voice, or if I'm banging on this table, it takes a little bit of that out. The process bypass, the only time you'd want that to go on and off is if you wanted to check to see what it sounds like before and after you add all of these buttons past here. So if you press this, you're going to see what it's going to sound like without my voice being processed. You take it off. Now it's all being processed by all these buttons here, all these buttons and knobs. So the next one is the compressor. I already talked about that. I'm not going to go into too much detail because I'm not an audio guy. I'm just want to get good sound. So I've got it at the number 4 and number 5 for the density. And what that does is, so if your voice gets kind of loud and you do want to start to clip, this compressor is going to pull it down by this much dB. So if you notice when I start talking louder and louder, you see all the lights that came up there? That's how much that it pulled my voice down and reduced the volume of my voice to keep it safe without clipping. All right, let's go into the de-esser, which I talked about before. If you look, every time I say an S, notice how the number 1 in green lights up. So if you say too many S's, it's going to go into the 6, and that's going to bring down that funny S sound even more. So again, like I said in the beginning of the video here, 4K, I've got this right around the 3 mark for the de-esser. Enhancer is something that I like if you want to have maybe a little bit more of a lower voice. You can bump this guy up, and it'll give you a little bit more of a lower toned voice. Same thing with high. If you have a low voice and you want it to be higher, you can bring this up, and you'll give you a little tiny bit higher voice. The problem with these two guys is they'll start getting the sound a little muddy, and that's something that you don't want. You don't want mud or kind of a funny sound in your voice. So anyway, 5 and 4. The expander and gate are really important to take away noise when you're not talking. And if you'll notice here, I'm going to take a breath. You probably didn't hear much of it. Now I'll take this ratio off. And now I'm breathing. You can kind of hear me. So, like I said, I pull this up to around here, and that gives me a good, it takes away the noise when I'm not speaking or not talking. And again, this thing is 1 notch below minus 15 here, like I said before. Now, my output gain, because of the way this is going into the Motu from here on, I've got this 2 notches below 0. I told you to set it to 0 just to give you a good start. And you can kind of play around with that to see how it's going to go. Okay, up here in the Motu itself, I've got it set to mono, not stereo. I want it on mono because it's going to go in both speakers, or when it comes out and it's a finished video, it's going to come out of both speakers, left and right, and it's going to be the same exact voice, same exact volume. I don't want to have stereo in my recordings. And again, you don't need to turn 48 volts on this because you already have it. You already have it over here, right there. So I guess I didn't have my camera in the right spot for you to see that. So again, I've got this plugged into here. It's on mono. I do not have 48 volts. These guys are basically turned all the way counterclockwise. If you have your DBX 286s set up correctly, you won't need any more gain from those 2 knobs on the input side on your Motu M2. It should all be fine. You just may have to add some monitor gain on that large dial to the right into the camera. This is for your microphone volume, or how much gain you've got in your microphone. So what I did is I got a little adapter plug, looks like that. It plugs into here, and then I can plug in my Apple headphones into it like that. I can listen in real time, and this adjusts the volume going into your headset. That's all that does. This guy kind of works like this guy does too. This will adjust the gain going into your camera. So it's nice because you can get clean gain coming out of here and not using the gain in your camera. And I'm going to show that to you right now. Okay, here's where we get into something really interesting. It's called gain staging into your camera. Now what you're going to do is you're basically going to gain stage your microphone into your camera to get the best possible sound you can. So what you do is you're going to go into your menu. Here's your menu button right there on this Canon camera anyway. You're going to scroll over to sound recording. Make sure you've got your sound recording on manual. Click it. Now normally they're set up so that, see how this record level is right there, right, like it's not down to 0. To get professional gain staging, you don't want to use very much of the preamps that are in the camera because they stink. So right now I'm talking into a Canon 7D, and I'm just using the onboard microphones. I'm not gain staging anything. I don't have a separate microphone. I'm just talking right into the camera here. and this camera is a Canon 80D, which is the one we're going to try to gain stage. So you're going to scroll down to record level, click it. Now this guy, you want to get it down to 0, so you want to bring it down to the far left. You're going to go like this, and as I talk, you're going to see it just shut off. So that's at 0. You want to have it 1 notch above 0, so turn it to the right, right there. Now you can see we've got some audio going in there. Okay, this is important. Don't forget to press this set button. If you forget to press it and you back out of the menu, your setting will be lost. So in order to gain stage it, you're going to now turn over to our, let me zoom out a little bit here. You're going to now use this guy to control how much gain is going into the back of your camera. So remember, on the back of a camera, you don't want to go much higher than 12 dB, minus 12 dB, and that's where we're at right now. So I'm just going to go down a little bit less, and if you notice, our yellow dots are right on the 12, even though I'm talking right into this microphone. So we've got this professionally gain stage. If you have it up too high, it's going to go way up to here, it's going to clip. See how we're in the red and it's at 0? That's clipping. So we want to take the Motu, turn this dial down until we get it right around the 12, till we get our maximums right down to 12, or we're talking mostly into the 12. And that's going to be right about, say right about there. Sound check, 1, 2, 3. Sound check, 1, 2. Mic check, 1, 2, 3. And now we've got this camera professionally gain stage, and we're going to go over to this camera now, and we're going to do a little video, and you're going to hear the sound coming out of it. Okay, here we go. I'm kind of excited to hear what it sounds like. So I'm going to put on these little headset. I also have a pop filter put on here because I'm going to get kind of close to the microphone. So here it is, all gain staged, all set up with the DBX 286 and the Motu M2. What do you think? How do you think it sounds? And the great thing about this kind of a microphone that I have here is it's got a great proximity effect. So you've got that radio voice or DJ voice, like this one's going out to Maxine in Bozeman, Montana. Maxine, here's your song. It's just wonderful to get great audio into your videos, especially for YouTube, so you sound great. So it'll work with almost any microphone. Right here, I've got a Shure SM57. It's a dynamic microphone, so I was able to shut off the phantom power. No phantom power needed, but I did need to crank up the gain on it because these dynamic mics are very gain hungry. I also had to turn the expander gate up by 1 notch because I noticed that my breathing was coming through. So again, listen to the sound. I'll give it a few seconds of silence here. Pretty silent. Let's try another mic. Okay, here's another gain-hungry microphone. This is the Shure SM7B. You've seen these on podcasts. You've seen them on regular radio shows. Again, this is a dynamic mic. I had to turn the gain on this one up to close to 60. I think I'm around 59. So my levels are good. I also had to turn up, let's see. No, I left the expander gate about the same. I turned it up one notch, just like I did with the Shure SM57. So again, dynamic mic, no phantom power, just a great mic, but sounds wonderful because of the setup we've got here right into the camera. So let me give it a few seconds of silence. And that's about it. Let's try one more microphone. Okay, this is one of the cheaper microphones you're going to buy. This is a Audio-Technica ATR 2100. I think I bought it used on eBay a few years ago for about $45. I'm not sure how much they are new, but I don't think they're much more than $75. It's got a little bit tinnier upper end. So let's see if I can turn the lower frequencies up. A little bit tinnier up at. See, it's still kind of. A little bit, there we go. How's this? It's got a little bit tinnier, higher end or upper end of the thing. And because this cheap microphone stand that it came on is so low, I'm having a hard time getting close to it. How about if I hand hold the thing? Make any noise? There we go. How's this one sound? Try not to get, I don't have a pop filter on it, so I'm trying not to breathe across it if I can, coming in at an angle here. So how does this sound? Again, the Audio-Technica ATR 2100. Let me give it a few seconds of silence. And that's it. I hope this video has helped you guys, because I know by learning all this stuff, it really helped me to get better audio. If it helped you, please give me a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel so you'll be on the list whenever I come out with a new video. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. And for those of you that made it to the end, thanks for staying and watching the entire video. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you subscribers. Have a great day. Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The shadow knows. Yeah, okay, excuse me. Time out for a second. What? Listen, I don't get this thing about the shadow's nose. What's the big deal about his nose? I don't understand that. Why are they always talking about his nose at the end? Who cares about his nose? No, it's not about his nose. It's about what he knows. You know, how he knows, or he thinks what's in the hearts of men, not his nose. Oh, never mind.